They hide behind their velvet doors, counting money on the floor, selling through.
Marina Piccola is not just a small harbor. It is a photo album that the wind keeps turning page after page. And at the foot of the sella del diavolo, which means sandal of the devil, where legends tells of a battle between angels and demons, the sea seems to have paused to listen to human stories. Before yachts arrived, before elegant Venus and summer phenomenides, I don't know what it means. Phenomenon? No, phenomenidis. There was a simple and hard life here. Not here, there, in Marina Piccola. Now I'm in the hotel again, in the B&B. There was a simple and hard life there. There were fishermen, salt pans, nets laid out in the sun, and the scent of a salt that soaked into clothes and never really left. For decades, this was a place of work, effort, and everyday reality. But as in every harbor, alongside the official life, there was always another one, more hidden, more alive. There were the fishermen's huts, and of course there were the casotti, little homes of the fishermen families, little families of the fishermen, and little homes made of wood. The casotti of Poeto and Marina Piccola were not simple shacks. They were spontaneous small structures built from wood, sheet metal, and reclaimed materials. They did not follow urban planning rules. They followed the sea. They appeared wherever shade, shelter, and companionship were needed. They were hybrid spaces, part home, part refuge, part world of their own. Inside the casotti, summer was lived fully. Coffee was made at dawn with the sound of waves in the background. Cards were played late into the night on chairs dusted with sand. Radios played while the wind moved makeshift curtains. Nets were repaired. Stories were told. Boats were awaited. They were not beautiful, not at all. They remain in collective memory. The casotti before demolition, they were demolished in between the 1970s, the 70s and the 80s, because they were ugly. They didn't look good. The Poeto coastline was dotted with these irregular structures, clustered together or standing alone on the sand. Some were simple open shelters facing the sea. Others were true seasonal micro dwellings. Archival photographs now preserved in a collection such as the Sardinia Digital Library and private archives show rows of light wooden casotti worn by the sun, rusted corrugated metal roofs, improvised verandas with sheets and mats, families sitting outside just a few meters from the water, children running freely between structures with no boundaries. It was a human landscape before it was an architectural one. A landscape that no longer exists physically, but survives in black and white images and faded color photographs, where the sea seems closer, almost domestic. The end of the casotti, when they were demolished between the 70s and the 80s, the removal was not only urbanistic, it was cultural. It was not just wooden structures that disappeared, a way of being at the sea disappeared with them. A freer, more chaotic, less regulated way of life. A fragile balance between work, leisure, and everyday survival. Many remember that moment as a clear break, that the transition from a lived coastline to a designed one. And yet the sea remembers. And yet Marina Piccola has never stopped telling his story. Every moored boat is a promise of return. Every seagull knows the way home. Every sunset over the sella del diavolo, the saddle of the devil, seems to remind us that here time does not pass, it settles. There are places that became famous, and then there are places that became part of those who lived them. Marina Piccola belongs to the second category. It doesn't ask to be photographed, pictured, we will say that. It only asks for one thing: stop for a few minutes. Listen to the wind and the rigging. Watch the sea change color without hurry, because it's that silence you will understand that its true story is not only in books or legends. It is in ordinary lives, in hard work, and also in those vanished structures we once called casotti. Small, that means small houses, small wooden worlds built to stay close to the sea. Perhaps that's why those who return here after many years smile without knowing why. Because some places never grow old. They are only waiting to be remembered. Have a good night.
Ecco qua, spiegatemi perché tutti questi corvi, ammesso che siano corvi, non mi sembra cornacchie, sono tutte in questo albero. Gli hanno calato del cibo solo in questo albero, che sono tutte qua. Sentite? Zitte, non vogliono essere riprese, neanche le cornacchie. Zitte. Sono cornacchie mafiose. Torno a casa. Ho fatto rinfrescare la macchina per evitare colpi di calore. Sembra abbastanza a posto adesso. Lasciamo ancora ariare un attimo. Queste sono norme di sicurezza, ma poi dipende da come siete messi. Io non faccio quel lavoro lì. Bene, torniamo a casa, eh? Dai.